Hi everybody, this is just a short video about the maths for this week. Last week we did the graduated cylinders and the guessing the capacity of the different household items. So I'll go through the answers for that later on in the week. But this is just an overview of some of the worksheets that I want to do this week. The first one you can see says weights and measures. You'll have this in email, okay? And you've got, let me just scroll down, you have 5 different very common household food items, okay? You have some milk here, some nuts, cashew nuts, Fanta, orange, lemonade, and a bag of potatoes, okay? And what it has here are 5 different measurements. PT, that's short for pint. G is short for gram. Kg is short for kilogram. L is short for litre. And ml is short for milliliter. Okay, so these are the full words and these are the shortened versions that we use. So I'm just going to fly back up here and you can have a look at the milk. You can zoom in on the worksheet yourself, but this is a pint. You can see it written there at the bottom of the blue part, 1 pint or 548 milliliters, I think. You've got 375 grams of cashew nuts. You can't see how much the Fanta orange is, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. This is a bottle of lemonade. They're typically about 1 litre, maybe 2 litres. And then the bag of potatoes would normally be measured in kilograms. Okay, so what we've got here is the milk, and you've got 1 pint written there. So that's what the PT is, 1 pint. Okay, the cashew nuts are 375 grams. Can't see it on the can, but that can is probably about 33 or 330 milliliters, about 1/3 of a litre. The lemonade, as we said, that's probably 1 litre, and then the bag of potatoes, I'm going to guess, is measured in kilograms. Okay, so what it's asking you to do here is write the correct weight or measure next to the food or drink item. So you can either do that on the worksheet if you print it out, or just write it in your book. Say milk, 1 pint, for example. Okay, and then the second part just wants you to write the measurements in full. So it gives a measurement here of 400 milliliters. Okay, so what you need to write there is 400, but they want the full word millimeter. Sorry, I might have said that's a mistake actually, I've only just noticed that. That should say milliliter, not millimeter, milliliter. I'll put that to you in an email actually, because that should be milliliter, not millimeter, okay? So so down here you're going to write 400 or 400, milliliter. Okay, sorry, I hadn't noticed that before, so that's a mistake. That should be milliliter, not millimeter. Okay, and so on for the rest of those measurements there. Okay, so 2 litres, that should be 2 liters, the full word for litres. All right, so that's the first worksheet. That won't cause you too much hassle. Okay, it's straightforward enough, and I think you have everything you need there, except for that spelling mistake. Okay. The second worksheet that I want you to look at then is called dimensions and measurements. Okay, and there's quite a bit in this, but if you get the first couple of bits of it done, that would be good. This talks about everyday language that we use when we're talking about taking measurements. So let us have a look. I'll just scroll down a little bit so you can see. So how high is it? That's the question. Okay, so Ron is making a new door. Excuse me. And Alan is helping him. How wide is the door? Yes, and you can see him there with his measuring tape. And then the answer is, it's 1 metre wide. Do you see that written here? It's 1 metre wide. He's measuring the width of the door. So the width is how wide is the door. And then the other guy says, and how high is it? Okay, so how high is it? Okay, height. And the other guy answers, it's 2 metres high. So we have width this way and height this way. Okay. The metric system units are mentioned here. M for metre, DM for decimeter, I've never seen it used. Ignore that one. cm for centimetre, mm for millimetre, and km for kilometre. Okay? So what it wants you to do here is, look at the pictures below and make sentences. So A is done for you. So you can see here A is a picture of a door and it's 1 metre wide. So the sentence that they want is the door is 1 metre wide. Okay? So all full words, you can see the number is written as a word, not just a number. Okay? So you have a number of examples there that you can put into sentences. So we're looking for width, height, and I think it's all just width and height in those ones. Okay, so you've got the road there, the car, the window, the table, different table, a house, and a ruler. Okay, so put them into sentences just like A has been done for you above there. The door is 1 metre wide. So there you go. The door is 1 metre wide. Okay, that's the first part. So moving on to the next section, if you have time, if you found the previous section difficult or you don't get time to move on to the section, that's absolutely fine. But if you get all of the other work done, you can move on to this one. So here you'll see a number of shapes or objects shown in the pictures. Okay, and we don't just have length and width this time, we also have height. Okay, so you can have length, width or long, wide measurements and high in one object. When we're making 2D measurements, so we just have 2 dimensions, length and width or length and height or whatever way you want to describe it, you're talking about something that's flat, or the measurement that you're concerned about is flat. But if you want to see how much space this chest would take up, for example, you need the length, the width and the height. Okay, so that's a 3D measurement. Okay, that's not a flat object or a flat shape, it's a 3D object. It's got 3 dimensions. So adjectives are describing words. So we're talking about words that are used to describe dimensions. Dimensions are the sizes of things. Okay, so this black rectangle, it's this long and this high. Okay, you're not given any particular measurements there, so don't worry. The chest has height, length and width. This table, it's X, well, we don't know how long it is, but it's got length, it's got width, but the tabletop has also got thickness. Okay, we would say it's, how thick is it? How thick is the tabletop there? And moving down, we have a window. Oops, went too far there. Okay, so it's this high and this wide. Here's another box. Okay, we don't know what it's for, but it's got height, width and depth. Okay, how deep is it? How far in does it go? And here we have, you would see a picture like this at the end of a pier on traffic signs sometimes. You don't normally have this side, but you've got a gap here that's whatever width it is. But how deep is the fall to where the water starts at the bottom here? That's depth as well. So how deep is that fall going from here to here? Okay. So what it asks you to do is to make sentences again. Just going to go back up here. So you have pictures. Now there's quite a few here. So you can have a go at some of them if you want to. If you get them all done, that's great. But don't worry if you don't get to it. So the first picture here is it's a wall. And you can see it's 10 meters long and 2 meters high. So the wall is 10 meters long and 2 meters high. So again, it's just asking you to put the picture that you see here into words. Okay. The second one here is a road. B is a road. It's 15 kilometers long and 8 meters wide. Okay. Sorry, little interruption there. Back again. Okay. So you can see there's more pictures down here. We have a pulley. Whoops. Sorry. I'll use the scroll bar. It's too hard to page down. Here we have a pulley. So this well is 3 meters wide. And the height of it is 20 meters. So the well is 20 meters high and 3 meters wide. Okay. So, and so on. So there's lots of objects there. Have a go at some of those and see how you get on. Okay, they go on to the next page. Okay, that's a shelf. That's what that is. There's a shelf in the previous one as well. I didn't realise that. Okay, so you've got a shelf, a wardrobe, a cabinet, and what else do we have? That's it. Okay, so if you were with somebody in the room, we could ask questions about, how long is the wall, how high is it, etc. You can do that if there's somebody at home that you can do the class with, but if not, just have a look at the various pictures and see if you can figure out the dimensions or the measurements for them. Okay, there is a fourth part to this, but we won't do that today, okay, because there's quite a lot in what you've just done. There's a fair bit of writing there, and if you get it all done, that's a good bit of work, so don't worry about part 4. Okay, so that one is called Dimensions and Measurements. Have a go at it if you have time. We'll have a go at section A, definitely. But then if you have time to do more, or you want to do more, go ahead and do a little bit more. Okay, that's it for this week. At the moment, I'll send you on the answers to the other worksheets. If we haven't already. Actually, you have the answers from the worksheets themselves, so you don't need them for this week because they were on the worksheets that I sent you. So, but we'll review them quickly in class this week anyway. Okay, thanks guys, bye.